Hi, my name is Maria Luisa. I live in Sicily, in Italy, and this is my YouTube channel. And today I'm recording a video which is quite different from my usual videos. Not only because it's in English, well, that's not my first video in English. This is my, I think, third videos in English. And because I'm talking about something I've never discussed before. Why not considering the idea to move to South Italy and in particular in Sicily? Okay, let's move on. First, I need to explain why a video in English. Well, of course, because I'm interested in a wider audience. And second, because my follower asked for this, they want to listen something in English. They know that I am an English teacher as a living. I am an English teacher in a secondary school here in Italy. And third, because I am really interested in the topic I'm going to discuss today. Again, the topic is why not considering the idea to move to Sicily. I'm thinking about digital nomads or retirees or just people who want a fresh start. And you must know that I am a small YouTube creator, but I am I'm big YouTube consumer. So every day I watch tons and tons of videos, and quite recently I've watched videos about the idea to move abroad. Especially, I am charmed by the Americans. I love their opinion, their idea of Europe. And many Americans, for this reason, decide to move to Europe. In general, I watched that Americans prefer to move to Portugal or Spain because they are, but Spain and Portugal are not that cheap. And a few Americans consider France, but France is an absolutely wonderful country, but definitely really expensive. And Italy is considered too expensive. It's not an ideal place to move for many retirees. Well, I'm here to help you to consider the idea to move to Italy. The problem with Italy is that it's a very long country, so that means that the weather, the climate is different. From north to south, you can find different conditions, and the economical conditions is different. So if you are a tourist and you only visited Florence or Rome or Milan, I agree, Italy is definitely expensive. But there are parts of Italy that are not so expensive. I'm thinking about South Italy. But again, South Italy is enormous. And I must recognize that in South Italy there are some depressed areas which are not so interesting. I remember watching a video on an American who was all excited because she moved to Salerno. I was surprised because Salerno, it's not. I don't know. I've never met someone who spent a holiday in Salerno. In Salerno, it's near the area of Neapolis, but honestly, there is nothing. I'm here to suggest the idea of moving to Sicily. I'm here to suggest to move to Sicily because I am a patriotic. That may sound a little bit weird because I'm watching videos on Spain and Portugal because one day I want to move there. I'm definitely in love with Europe, and in particular I love Sicily. I definitely love Sicily. The problem is that I am an adventure person. I was a former expat. I lived in different places in my life. I lived in London, in Dublin, in where else? Oh, in Tallinn, of course, Tallinn. That was the most amazing adventure in my life. And again, in Italy, I lived in Milan, in Padua, in Mantua, in different parts of Sicily. So trust me, I know what I say. You really can trust me. Sicily is the ideal place if you want to move. So, why moving to Sicily? Again, I must be clear. Sicily is the biggest island in the Mediterranean Sea, and it's enormous. It's 2 times Estonia, my beloved Estonia, and 5 million people live in Sicily. So again, like in Italy, you can find different economical conditions. The climate can be quite different. So I will honestly try to make some difference. Consider that I live in probably the most expensive part of Sicily. I live 10 kilometers from Taormina, which is a posh place, a touristic place, quite expensive. Many Russian people, Americans, it's crowded of tourists, of rich tourists. So the whole area is quite expensive. So again, I will try to underline the differences between different parts of Sicily. So let's start. The climate in Sicily is fantastic. It's not so different from Spain and Portugal, but as I am not only a former expat, but I am a passionate traveler, I can tell you that the weather in Sicily is better than in Spain, because in Spain, especially in South Italy, in South Spain, sorry, in summertime, it's hell. It's hell. It's almost 50 degrees. And in winter, it may be quite cold. And Portugal, well, the weather in Portugal is not that good because it's humid. It's in Sicily in winter. It's fabulous because it's mild. The weather it's mild. We have temperature between 10, 12, up to 20 degrees. And of course it depends. In the center part of Sicily, it snows, it can snow, and it's fresher. In summer, I must recognize that this weather can be sometimes too hot. Of course, it depends on the years. In the past, we had temperature until 45, 46 degrees, but it's something absolutely occasional. That's not the general rule. So the weather, it's fantastic all year round, and you can go to the beach and go to the sea and swim from April or May until September, October. Till October, it's possible to go to the beach. So the weather is fantastic. Let's now talk about the cost of living. In the last 2 or 3 years in Sicily too, we are experiencing a rise in the cost of living. Everything is more expensive than in the past. Something changed and we don't know what. But again, I'm sure that in different parts of Sicily, things didn't change that much. Rent. If you want to rent a house in the village where I live, I've heard that you must think to pay. You must pay something like 450, 500 euros per month. But I'm sure that if you are just one person or or with your spouse, if you come here in a couple, then probably you may find something for 300 euros. And in different parts of Sicily, not so expensive as the place where I live, I'm sure that you can find houses for 250, 300 euros per month. And probably you've heard about a village called Musumeli, and another one in near Agrigento, Sambuca di Sicilia, where you can even buy ancient houses for €1. Of course, then you have to make some work of renovation. Check on YouTube. Lots of foreign people moved to Musumeli and Sambuca. Bills are not expensive again, because as the weather is so good, we don't need to splurge. We don't spend so much in the heating system. And the clothes. Can you trust me? I have the same wardrobe all year round. Today, it's March, I have a short sleeved t-shirt and one jacket, and I'm ready. So it's not so different. You don't need to spend a lot of money in clothes. Food and grocery. How much do you should expect to spend in food and groceries in Sicily? Again, only 2 or 3 years ago, it was absolutely common finding fruits and vegetables, in my village at least, for €1 per kilo, €1.50 per kilo. Now I noticed that the prices are for fruit or vegetables 2-3 euros per kilo. But quite recently I went to Palermo, and there in the market, and the public market in the street called Vucceria, you should go there. It's really interesting. I noticed that again the same price I remembered, for 80 cents, €1 per kilo. You can find amazing fruit, amazing vegetables, and here the notion of organic, it's something unusual, because here food is organic. Everything is organic, because you can see the farmers that sell their own fruits and vegetables in small stalls in the streets. This is something absolutely common to see, and there you can really save a lot of money. Meat is about 15 euros per kilo. It's a good price. I remember I was horrified when I visited France a couple of years ago, and I noticed that in Nantes and Bordeaux, meat was about 40 euros per kilo. That's a lot. Bread in North Italy now, it's from 5 to 8 euros per kilo. That's crazy. Here bread is about 2 euros and 50 cents per kilo, and it's wonderful, marvelous bread. Fish is a little bit expensive. Maybe you think that we are an island and you can find cheap fish. Well, fish is expensive. Unless you don't go to those markets in the biggest city like Catania and Palermo there, or Messina, Syracuse, you can find very cheap fish for 10-15 euros per kilo. What else? The infrastructures are not so good. I really recommend to, if possible, to rent or buy a car, because you're going to need a car. This is, I think, something very common in all the Mediterranean countries. I don't know why. When I lived abroad, I never had the necessity to have a car, to drive a car. But here in Italy, it's essential. the connections are not so bad along Sicily. Sicily has got this triangle shape, so along the coast you can find excellent streets and excellent highways. And you know what? Most of our highways are for free, but the problem is in the center of Sicily. So this is a problem I recognize. Better if you rent or buy a car. And we have 4 airports, and two are I think is the 3rd airport in South Italy, Catania, and another one is Palermo. And then we have 2 minor airports, one in Comiso in the south east of Sicily, and the other one is next to Trapani. And so you can count on good connections to go to your countries. We have lots of destinations. What else? That's it. So why Sicily? Let me tell you some final words to convince you to move to Sicily. If you have your own car, you can move and visit all the extraordinary, incredible. I have no adjectives to describe what you can visit in Sicily. It's amazing. There are about 5 hours of driving from one coast to another one, and in the middle you can find the most extraordinary things. Let me just suggest you quickly some of the most incredible places I visited in Sicily. So Agrigento, it's like Athens. Imagine the sea, the blue sea, which was and is still full of Greek statues and Greek ships and Greek remains. This blue sky, this blue sea, and then these hills and 5 amazing Greek temples. Syracuse, it's just extraordinary. Ortigia is protected by UNESCO. It's a natural port, extraordinary, exquisite. What else? The so-called triangle, Baroque triangle, Noto, Modica, and Sicily. They are extraordinary. And I especially Sicily. I love Sicily, and I suggest you to go there. It's magic. I don't know why. I went there twice or 3 times in my life, and every time it reminds me a place that I really love, Granada. Don't ask me why. Trapani and Marsala. There you can try and taste one of the finest wines we produce in Sicily. And in Marsala the Phoenix were there, and Palermo with all its extraordinary ancient palaces. Think about if you have watched the movie The Gattopardo, imagine that type of atmosphere. What else? Oh, Gibellina, the old and new, they are extraordinary, because there you can find some of the most extraordinary contemporary art museums here in Sicily. And in Old Gibellina you can see the biggest land art in Europe. Extraordinary. Please do make a research about the sad history of the sad story of Gibellina. Other parts in Sambuca in Sicily, there is a lake called Arancio Lake, Orange Lake, and in the middle of this lake there is a Muslim fortress. Incredible. And the castles, of course, I was forgetting the castles around the area of Enna, because the Longobards and okay, I can't remember because we had so many people who conquered and left treasures in Sicily. The Normans built exquisite castles in Sicily, and of course all the islands we have the Aeolian Islands and the Egadi on the other side of the island. And of course, if you like walking in nature, we have the highest volcano in Europe, Etna. It's not the only volcano. We have two more volcanoes in the Aeolian Islands. These are all the reasons why you should honestly consider Sicily. I have no particular interest in suggesting to move to Sicily. Again, I'm just an English teacher. It's just I'm patriotic and I love Europe and I love Sicily. So feel free to contact me personally if you need some advice. I'd love to help you, because I love Sicily and I love to see more foreign people moving to Sicily, just to spice things up and make my beloved island a little bit more international. If you love this video, please consider subscribing, click and like. This could help my small passionate channel. Okay, see you next time, and let me know if you are interested in more English video. Bye!